also, this is interesting, this is more for Carl, really. It sounds unlikely.
Is it from a doctor saying you're an idiot?
We've got plenty of those, I tend to delete them.
Okay, right, yeah. Look at his face!
No, it just says, you know, don't like to complain, but I won the film competition like 5 or 6 weeks ago, and I haven't received my prizes.
Oh dear, that's all Carl has to do on the show. We provide the chat, the records, the light entertainment. I mean,
the glamour.
Strokes of comedy genius. All Carl has to do is send out the prizes and say, there was a monkey that was a bank robber at 5 to 3.
Yeah. What's your excuse, Carl?
Do you remember her winning? I've got all.
Well, you're calling her a liar?
Well, I am, because I don't remember ever seeing...
Right, he's calling her a liar.
So, Joanne Ogden, you're claiming, is just making this up. She sent this in on a whim, trying to fool us and get some cheap tat.
Wow.
I don't believe that. I don't believe anyone would lie to try and get knowing me, knowing you on VHS. I really don't.
Well, I'll look in the records, because we keep all the details, so... Do you know what I mean?
Right. Well, one of you's in the wrong, and do you know what? Knowing you, Carl, I don't think it's Joanne.
No. Has anyone else ever emailed in saying they haven't got the, like a trap? No, they haven't.
Well,
one mistake's one too far, because that's one person. So, you might send out 30, but that one person, that's the first time they've won a competition. They want the history of Wind, narrated by Donald McIntyre on VHS.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Stephen King's It. on Betamax.
Yeah. No, sometimes they want the best of Primal Scream on a cassette.
Exactly.
So, you know.
Got to make sure you're sending these prizes back. Final email from Andy. He says, the webcam, is pointing at the ceiling. Is it because the air conditioning vent is more exciting than what happens on the show?
Let's put that down now.
I think that's absolutely right.
Hold on a minute. Now, just, if someone, is that good?
People love the webcam. I don't know what they're interested in, because all I get is a picture of Carl's big head.
It's not a big, it's just round.
Yeah.
Oh.
Got it right.
Yeah.
Carl, I'd like you to play the next tune. I got sent a little cheeky, primer for The Cure's Join the Dots. It's B-sides and rarities, lots of stuff from them, from all over the ages. And it's amazing how good their B-sides are. Here's one of them playing.
Yeah. Bones. Radiohead off the Bones album. I mean, might be my favourite album of all time.
You said it before, yeah. I can't say I've ever really got into it. I remember when it came out, it was just so ubiquitous everywhere, I never really bothered listening to it.
I can still listen to it every day. I mean, that might be sad, I don't know, but it's a fantastic album.
Yeah.
On XFM 104.9, just practicing for when we,
talk about music.
Talk more about music than maybe monkeys and people born without knobs, baby. Carl, any other thoughts?
Well, I'm not gonna tell you any more educating stuff yet.
You're gonna tease me with that, are you?
Leave you with, it nearly died.
Yeah.
And get a load of this court case, right? But I want you thinking about...
Yeah, thinking about it, yeah, just getting the red juices ready.
About that.
Yeah, like an aperitif, yeah, sure.
But, I've just educated you.
Yeah.
Right? And I watched The Office Christmas stuff on, last Sunday.
Do you enjoy it?
I think it was good.
Good.
I think it was good.
Thank you very much.
It was one of my favourites. The second one's good.
Yeah, okay, your second one, there's more the paybacks in the second one, the first one's more set up.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'd have thought people would like the second one more.
Yeah.
So that's nice. That's a nice critique, thank you, Carl.
But there was something in it you did about cavemen.
Cavemen?
You said something about, it was a fact about caveman, and you sort of only half did it. You didn't give the full information, like...
What?
Like I do in that. You just...
Where was it? What bit was it?
It was the bit when you were talking about getting a woman, I think, or you were talking about breasts or...
Oh, the one where I said people are, the reason women have cleavage is it reminds men of buttocks, because when we were cavemen we used to do you from behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the blind date, yeah.
Is that a joke, or...?
Well, I was hoping it was funny. We would... Oh, you mean, no, I don't know. Yeah, I think I did. I think cleavage is meant to represent, in a sort of Desmond Morris pop, sort of anthropology type way, I think I've seen that before, that, cleavage represents, buttocks. And I imagine, you know, cavemen probably did do it from behind. I don't know what you want to know, Carl, really. It's in a sitcom, it wasn't a documentary.
It looked like one.
Yeah. Brilliantly directed to look like one, I'll give you that.
No, but what you're saying, so blokes like
Yeah, I think cleavage is represented like buttocks, because obviously buttocks were much more of a sexual organ, evolutionarily speaking. Breasts were to actually bring up, to suckle young, but, and were a sign of sexual maturity, so you're ready to mate. But whereas, Carl, I'm not an anthropologist, mate, I'm struggling here, what do you need to know?
but
Yeah, I imagine that the cleavage reminds you of an arse, like...
Right, well, if it's all about arse, why don't gays like a little bit of tit? No, do you know what I mean?
Ah, you've done me! So the question put to us today on XFM 104.9, please call me that, is, if it's all about arse, then why don't gays like a little bit of tit?
I was worried
If it's all about arse, why don't gays like tit? If it's all about arse, why don't gays like tits? Just call in with your... Thanks very much for tuning in. This has been Children's TV. If it's all about arse, why don't gays like tit?
It's been an hour and a quarter before we got round to gays, so it's too late for the parents.
If it's all about arse, why don't gays like a bit of tit? Is the question. What a brilliant question. Well, if you're an anthropologist or a psychologist, a doctor, a gay, please call in. If it's all about arse, this is the question.
I'm not convinced by this whole, cleavage looks like an arse, that's
No, not Steve, nor am I. It's a bit of mock anthropology. I didn't think it would be under scrutiny.
I think it's more likely that the reason men find cleavage attractive is because they know there's a lovely pair of Bristols down there.
Yes, they
And
look
it's like,
like
ooh, here we are.
If that's what's on show.
Exactly, imagine what's down
If
below.
that's in the front window, right?
Yeah,
What's she
I'm
got
gonna
to go in the shop? Oh dear! The Coral, Bill Mackay on XFM 104.9. If it's all about arses, Steve, why don't gays like a bit of tit?
I think there might be a lecture on that at the Royal Institute tonight. I'm not sure.
Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, I think he's given it.
Brilliant.
Tell you something else though, that's about cavemen and that.
Yeah.
Right?
Not really, go on.
Do you know,
I love the idea of a little gay fella. He's pulled a bird. All he's done is focused on the cleavage, and he's gone, that's a lovely arse. Right. He's got a back. Right, pulls the dress down. No! Where's the arse? I've been gone. There's boobs! Boobs! I hate they're my worst! No! Right, sorry, Carl.
cavemen and that.
Yeah. Back to it. Doesn't drop a beat, does he?
Do you know, like, when you get a bit scared, and the hairs on your back and that sort of go up?
Well, I haven't got a particularly hairy back, but go on.
No, but on your neck or whatever,
Yeah.
On your head. Do you know...
Not in your case, but sure.
Do you know where that comes from? Do you know why that happens?
Why it happens?
Yeah.
To look more fierce.
Yeah.
Probably residue of, like, the erectile tissue would make you look apes, and that would make you look slightly bigger, your outline bigger. Is that the answer?
Yeah, just cavemen in front of dinosaurs and that, they sort of went, oh. And then...
Well, it wasn't cavemen in front of dinosaurs, was it? Because cavemen weren't alive when dinosaurs were alive.
There was a couple knocking about.
Right, okay, fair enough.
There was a crossover point, surely.
Not dinosaurs like
15 million. Was the, probably the Ice Age, there were still big
I
reptiles.
think it's fairly common knowledge that the dinosaurs did not exist.
Well, who gave the dinosaurs the name?
Well, no. Well, no.
Who gave the dinosaurs the names?
He's using cavemen as any genus of homo.
Right.
I know he's thinking of the Flintstones, but I'm giving him like, an instep into evolution here. But,
I should just point out, cavemen didn't have cars which they motored by running along the street.
and they didn't mix cement in pelicans.
You're aware of that?
Nirvana.
Amazing.
We were just talking, we were getting excited about that,
Yeah,
weren't
he's
we?
got an incredible voice he has.
And Grohl, drumming, it's brilliant. You know, you're right, the new one from Nirvana. Well, it's time for Educating Ricky Part 2, isn't it? I'm excited, Carl. I'm going to learn so much from this. What's the choices again? What
Right, you've got left...
Still keep phoning your answers to, Email, sorry, yeah.
The answers to Rockbusters.
Yeah.
Right, okay, Educating Ricky, Part 2.
Right. I'm committed to this treatment.
Yeah.
Is one.
I've got to go for that one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Or the other one is the police are causing a bit of a stir.
He still says it like it's the best thing he's ever come up with, which in a way is.
It could be. Right, go on then. I'm committed to this treatment.
Right. Do you know the saying,
Oh, God.
Is it just sayings now? Are they all sayings this week?
No, they're not.
Okay.
No, the other one isn't. Frog in your throat?
The saying, there's a frog in your throat?
Yeah.
I assume it's when you croak a little bit. You sound like a frog.
No. Right, might seem a bit weird, this one, right? But years ago,
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, well, what is that clue committed to this treatment?
it's about frogs committed.
Probably works better with a K and an ER written down.
Well, also, if you'd pronounced it committed,
yeah.
but not committed.
Committed to this treatment! Right, go on then.
That's genius.
So yeah.
Well, what?
You go to the doctors and you go with throat hurting a bit.
Right.
And what they did ages ago,
What year was this approximately?
we are going back quite a bit with this one.
Oh, okay, go on.
And the doctor would say,
Did history. Imagine years ago, go on.
and the doctor would say, right, keep your mouth open, I need to look at your tonsils. And the jaw would ache a bit, because they weren't as quick back then, because they didn't have the technology and stuff, and they'd have to, like, stare at it and study it and stuff. And, like, they get an achy jaw, right?
Keeping their mouth open.
Yeah, like you get,
Yeah.
when you eat a Mars bar or whatever, it's like, So, they'd sat there, and they used to always close their mouth, and it used to annoy the doctor, right?
Sure.
So what they did, they used to get a toad
Right.
and put it in the mouth,
Rubbish.
Okay, keep talking. Keep talking.
and that way they couldn't close the mouth, because either they'd squash it,
Right.
or apparently you're not allowed to lick a toad's back.
So the doctor would have them for breaking the law?
No, but it's poisonous, right? A toad's back. You should never lick a toad's back.
Or put it in your mouth, really.
Oh, just stop for a second.
Wait. What?
Can I just ask one question?
Go on,
Can I
yeah,
just
go
ask
on.
one question?
I've got a few, but
No,
go on.
sure. My initial thought is, it sounds like a brilliant bit of sort of medical knowledge. That it's a great idea.
Yeah.
My only thought is, how does the doctor see past the toad? At your tonsils?
What's he actually looking at with the mouth open? Surely the toad is
Isn't
in
it
the
like
way.
hopping around in the way?
It didn't say.
Sorry, and my first question is, was this on the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Carl, that is bollocks. That is, I mean,
Well, alright then. Let's turn this round. Where does the saying, you got a frog in your throat come from?
probably because you sound a bit croaky. Probably that. Probably because you sound a little bit like a frog when you've got a sore throat.
Carl, did you not question it just for a moment when you read it? Just for a second, didn't you think, that seems an odd approach? Firstly, why a frog, of all the different
Because
species?
it's poisonous. A toad.
So a toad, so it's a toad as well?
Yeah, well, that worked. I'm committed. Worked.
No,
No, frog in his frog in his throat.
I was going to change it to, have you heard the news Toad Day? But I went with the frog.
Oh God!
Right, so
that's
think
rubbish.
about it.
So that's rubbish. Next, can I have,
Let's play a tune, let's come up with the
God.
last one.
Oh,
Oh, can I just
play
say, no, just play it.
yeah?
Yo, Carl.
I have to thank my mate Dave, who sent me an incredible 4-disc compilation. That was one of the tunes on there.
It looks professional, it's amazing.
It's incredible,
The
yeah.
effort
Oh,
is
he's gone to too much
commendable.
effort. Ben Queller, it's a track called In Other Words from his album Shah Shah.
Open wide. Oh dear, that's interesting. Oh, here, Doctor. Look, you've actually got a frog in your throat. I didn't get there. I put it in there. That's the most ludicrous story I've ever heard, Carl. Why don't you think when you read these things?
I think there's always going to be a bit of truth in all of these. I mean, that fella called up, didn't he, and said, I'm not sure about the, putting a frog in your throat if you've got, problems with your tonsils or whatever. But he said, years ago, if someone had toothache, they'd get hold of a frog and strap it to the face.
Yeah, sure.
So, maybe, down the line, maybe they did. Maybe they did do it for long.
I think Caligula made his emperor, a horse and emperor as well, but I mean, it doesn't... Go on.
Dick Anderson's been back in touch.
Excellent.
I think so. He's obviously...
We've turned him round,
well,
he loves it now,
he's been tuning in.
He loves it now.
He says, Ricky, thanks for a really forgettable 2 hours of radio. I think I'll spend the time next week counting my feet. That's from Richard Anderson. So, we've turned him round.
Do you know where the phrase counting my feet comes from? Well, in the olden days, right, I'm talking ages ago, when you really loved something, you used to, as a sign of respect, like, say, a radio show, you'd count your feet. And that's where that comes from, Carl.
Well, what about the the frog thing with a poisonous back.
It's rubbish.
That's true. No, the toads have the secretions in there.
Why?
But they didn't put it in people's mouths.
No, so well, I'll tell you why. When a badger or a heron tastes the toad, it's horrible. Ugh. The toad might die, but it's for the good of the species, because then think how many toads looking like that heron could eat in its lifetime. So the fact that one toad sacrificed itself, all those other toads in that heron's manner will be safe.
Why? I mean, you know, we've talked about animals a lot on the show, right?
Yeah.
And when God made a toad,
Sure.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to stop you there. I'm going to stop you there straight away.
Don't. Just let him carry on.
right?
Okay.
Like, there's annoying things out there, you know, jellyfish is a big problem with me. I don't understand what they do in the sea and stuff.
Right.
Alright, but we'll leave them.
God's
right?
a problem for me, but go on.
We won't talk about jellyfish.
No.
With the toad, right, if it's to protect itself,
Yeah.
right, now
No, it's not to protect itself, it's to protect its species.
yeah, but that, surely, right, if the toad had a choice, if God said, right, what I'm gonna do for you here, you can have something like a lobster's got claws, big claws to have a fight. Or, I can give you something that if someone's having a go at you, you've got to try and persuade them to lick you back as a defence.
Yeah.
What use is, right,
Oh, God's
Well, I'll tell you why.
What is God
The
up
fact
to?
that there are still toads around is a testament to that defence working. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? If the toad had died out, you'd have a point. But they're still around. It works. Alright?
And don't start slagging God off. He's got a lot on his plate. Basically, I think he took on too much.
Particularly in 1 week.
Exactly, it was crazy.
Danger High Voltage, Electric 6, XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant. Carl's getting all flustered because I put an elastic band around his head. And we've had a definition of,
Well, hang on a
frog
sec,
in the throat.
because there's an update to that, Rick.
Go on.
We did just have, one, definition here of, a frog in the throat. Apparently this has come from some, internet site, so who knows, how convincing it is, but it says frog in the throat, meaning suffering from temporary hoarseness, needing to clear the throat. Origin from the Old English frogger, meaning hoarseness. That's from Chris. Now, that sounds slightly suspect to me.
Why?
But, frogger? I mean, it seems odd that it would derive from that when it so clearly appears to be. You sound like a frog when you have a sore throat.
Yeah, but the word frog could come from Frogger, because it
Frogger.
sounds like it's
I didn't know,
croaking.
wasn't Frogger a game you could play on the,
Yeah,
on the Spectrum?
Spectrum,
That's a great
yeah.
game. But
Yeah.
listen, hang on, there's an update to that, because, just to
The common frog, of course, Rana temporara, that's the Latin name.
Well,
your toad is Buffo Buffo.
You may be trying to show off, but I think you're about to embarrass yourself as well,
on.
because you've been slagging off young Carl.
Yeah.
It says here, another email, it doesn't tell us who it's from. Although it's hard to believe now, at one time, medieval physicians believed that the secretions of a frog could cure a cough if they were coated on the throat of the patient. That in itself sounds repulsive, but what makes the idea even worse is the application of the secretions. Instead of painting the treatment on, something which may also have seemed rational, a live frog was placed into the mouth of the sufferer, where it remained until the physician decided that the treatment was complete.
Right.
Apparently Shakespeare's son-in-law, that's a question mark, I don't know what that means. Anyway, it's no wonder that today a froggy or croaky attempt at speech is said to be a frog in your throat. So, you can see that what's happened there is Carl's misread, or been slightly misinformed about, a medieval practice. In a sense, you're both winners, just for taking part. What's your final one, Carl?
Right, the final story is, the police are causing a bit of a stir.
I can't wait.
It's about this fella, I think it's in England somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't know when it happened, but,
Literally ages ago, or?
basically, well, I think it's when they were trying to crack down on, like, drunken people walking about in the street.
Oh, yeah.
And they found this fella.
Saturday. We Saturday that way.
And, found this fella, and, all the local people were saying, oh, look at him wandering around, he's drunk and what have you. That's not right. Get the police in. He got arrested and that, and they got him in the court. And, the judge was there, and he says, so, you know, what's all this? What's going on? What are you doing wandering about when you've had a drink? You know the rules. You shouldn't be doing that. You had a glazed expression on your face. Blah, blah, blah. What do you have to say for yourself? He only had a glass eye.
So
that
you have
was-
2 glass eyes.
I had one. But that was, they were about to sort of lock him up.
Was he a bit
What,
pissed
yeah.
up as well?
Well, he was pretty livid.
But was he also drunk with a glass eye?
No, that's the weird thing. He wasn't even, he hadn't even had a drink.
So they just thought, because he had a weird stare.
Because his eyes were all glazed.
Yeah. Where'd you get this from? Why are you telling me this? but why are you telling me this? I mean, thank you, because it's, you know, killed a couple of minutes, but why is this educating me? What are you telling me here?
Because there's a bit of a thing there, a bit of a fable, that don't always judge a book by its cover. Yeah? So, the guy, he hadn't even had a drink. He'd probably just been shopping.
Yeah.
Walking down the street, and everyone's, like, getting involved. Like, what's he doing? He shouldn't...
Hang on, I don't understand. He's walking down the street, happens to have a glass eye. He was doing nothing else to suggest he was drunk. You don't pick people up just because their eye looks like that.
But even if it happened, why are you telling me? With no particular detail. I know this, but we're gonna get
It's not enough information.
I know, yeah.
No, there's a bit of a lesson there, educating Ricky. Just, you know, just watch what you say. Don't always jump to conclusions.
The only education I can take from that is that, if I ever do become a policeman, I shouldn't just arrest people because they look a bit drunk. I should just tap their eye with a pen. And goes, oh, okay, on you go.
Well,
On you go, yeah.
Guys, can I just stop you there? I'm just going to email Richard Anderson and tell him I agree.
right, listen, we're running out of time and that.
Where did the phrase frog in the throat come from?
We've got it here. He's been told.
Well, there's three.
Can we play a tune and come back with that? Have we got anything lined up?
Yeah, we've got the song with the story in it.
Come on, Carl, let's do something. Quick, play a record.
Song with the story in it.
Well, never mind that. Just, they're listening. We discussed this off air. Come on. Play a record.
Right, it's Kings. Kings. It's a song with a good story in it. You got to listen to the words.
Carl, what was that? That was your little song with a story.
That's another little feature that we do every Saturday.
So make sure you tune in.
It's a song that's got a good story in it. There's a lot of music about these
What's
days.
What's that story about then? What's that story
you
about?
don't know what they're going on about. Whereas that classic from the Kinks called Lola.
Yeah, what's it about?
I'd listened to it for the first time properly this morning.
Yeah.
And what I've worked out from it is a fella who goes out for a normal Saturday night out. He's in Soho.
Yeah.
He's having a Coca-Cola or whatever. And he sees this woman, he thinks, oh, she's alright. Won't mind a bit of that. So he wanders over, and he sort of gets talking to her. He looks at her, and she's got a great figure, nice face and all that.
Lovely knob.
And she speaks, and he goes, oh God. Got a bit of a bloke's voice.
Yeah.
Got a bit of a voice like a bloke. But he thought, but, you know, that's her only down point.
Sure.
So he dances around with her, and I think he sits on his knee, I think he said.
Yeah.
Anyway, it turns out it's a fella.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
a sobering lesson.
Yeah.
What do you take from that?
Look, always sort of, if you think you might be talking to, a
bloke in drag.
just look at his sort of Adam's apple. And he'll probably have a hairier arse than a woman.
Yeah, I think you've gone too far then, though. I think you're already getting too close.
It's a bit late to pull out.
No pun intended, definitely.
There was a pun intended.
Oh, was it? Alright, was it?
Yes.
Alright, okay, we don't be disgusting then.
Of course, as ever, lots of questions for Carl as well, just to sort of try and tap into his brain, see what's going on there. Question from Jade. Carl, what would you change if you were in charge of what kids are taught in school? Right, you know, because, I mean, your school experience was a bit iffy. You got very bored, didn't you? You got very disillusioned by school.
Yeah. What I'd do, right, is, instead of sort of teaching kids about 2 and 2 and that, she's 4, right?
Well done.
Show off.
I think they should be asked more questions that make them think rather than something that has just got an answer,
I totally agree.
right? So,
so teaching them the quest for knowledge, inflaming their
but
imagination.
just freaking them out a bit as well, just going like...
I knew that's where it was going. Because as soon as you started talking, Rick, I was thinking you're thinking some of the big existential or philosophical questions. You know, does it mean to be human? What does it mean to interact with other humans? To be a human.
Or teaching them sort of like philosophy on a basic level, that, you know, teaching them the love for learning. So, you know, get them back to a roots level so they want to learn and then they will learn, as opposed to just teaching them facts.
Whereas...
He was thinking, freak him out a bit.
Yeah.
No, just like, you know, like I read the other day, and someone sent it in on email, like how there's a dishwasher that's been found on Mars.
Rubbish.
Whoa, what?
But it's not true.
So tell them that.
But it's not true.
Go home and write about it. How did that happen?
But it didn't happen.
Well, it did happen. It was in a science magazine.
No, it didn't happen. There's not a dishwasher on Mars.
Why not?
Because...
What do you mean, why not?
How did it get there?
But we're always sending, like, rubbish out there and that. It's like...
Not dishwashers. What, you think the council take it away and they go, where can we put it? Well, the tip's full. Well, where's the nearest thing we can dump this? Mars, I imagine.
No, but the same way that fella who, I don't know, was it 2 Christmases ago when he was messing about saying I can get stuff to Mars and all that, he did it wrong because he did it on like Boxing Day, and I just think nobody's concentrating. No one wants to work on that day. It's kind of like, do you know what I mean? They're going to do stuff sort of half-arsed, aren't they, on Boxing Day? So it didn't really get there, I don't think, but it crash-landed.
What are you talking about? What was he trying to do?
He was sending something up to Mars.
Yeah, that little fella that wanted to get something on Mars, and it got,
globe, you mean?
And it didn't open properly.
Yeah.
It got there, didn't open.
But the thing is, it got there, it didn't open properly. No one's been back to pick it up. And what I'm saying is, we're saying about going to Mars as our next planet. It's a tip. There's loads of stuff that's been flirted up there.
No, it's not.
What are you talking
It's just all like that probe thing is still there, rotting away.
Yeah. So, ipso facto, there is a dishwasher on Mars. We've settled that. Why would they have a dishwasher on Mars? Would they take the dishwasher up in the space shuttle in case they had dinner parties? What are you talking about?
I just think they would have a little dishwasher in there. There's a lot of them, tight space. You don't want to, but who's going to do that? You know, that means...
Do you know how much fuel it takes to move a kilogram
Yeah.
out of the Earth's atmosphere? So they're going to take up a dishwasher, are they?
Sorry, but what are they cooking up there, Carl?
How many people does it take to fly a rocket? How many people? Tell me how many people.
Well, it's either one monkey with a banana shoot that feeds it, or probably 2 or 3 humans.
Right, say it's 3 humans.
Yeah.
Now there's 3 humans because they need one to steer it.
One to stop at the petrol station to get more.
What I'm saying is, if you're going to start having a sink, then whoever's
They
washing
haven't got
up,
a sink.
I know, because they've got a dishwasher.
He's got you there.
But anyway, I'm not going to go into that. But all I'm saying is, teach kids things about. Say to them, right, when you go home tonight, there was dinosaurs knocking about ages ago. How would you have lived with them? Get on with it. See you later.
Well, they didn't. I've told you this before. You got a lot of your information from the Flintstones and 1 million years BC with Raquel Welch. There weren't dinosaurs knocking around where there were little fellas knocking around in furry pants.
No, but just sort of saying to them, all right, then, here's a different question.
Go on then.
Would it be better to have dinosaurs knocking about now whilst we're here? Because I put that in my diary the other day. That when you think about it, there's a population problem.
Yeah.
There's too many of us.
Yeah.
We're saving people all the time. No one's allowed to get injured anymore. You've got to, wear a helmet when you're on a bike. There's speed bumps to slow people down. Zebra crossing. Cures for illnesses. No one's dying anymore, right?
Well, I think they are.
Not as many as they should be because the world's crowded. All I'm saying
I
is
think there's still people dying. I think there's still people dying.
not that many though.
Yeah, I think there's still millions of people dying.
Apparently, a handful.
Loads of people are living longer, and that's a problem. So
So
what
you
I'm saying
feel that
is,
you should introduce Tyrannosaurus Rex into,
wandering
say,
about, wandering
London, just have him wandering around, just picking people off.
that's what just sort of random and that, because I don't know. I mean, I'm not wishing that anyone I know dies and that, but all I'm saying is I don't know anyone who's died for ages.
Right.
Whereas if a dinosaur was knocking about, you'd go, Neil's gone missing.
Yeah.
And
And
you go,
Nora's
that's-
had her head bitten off by a...
Whatever. I just think then it is survival of the fittest, which is we've lost all that now. You don't even have to be fit to survive. They just keep sticking a new lung on you. Or, do you know what I mean? They can do too much now to keep people going.
just keep sticking a new lung on you.
Question from Kevin. He says, Carl, other than the famous boxing match that you've often talked about, I know that took up about 20 minutes of your time, have you ever been in any other kind of fight? I don't suppose a slanging match. I think they're talking, have you ever been in a physical fight?
Once that I can remember. It was over a woman. Well, a girl. I was at school.
Yeah.
And it was because, like, it's hassle, innit? Right? Relationships when you're younger. 'Cause
How
you're
old were you?
About 7.
It was over a woman.
Go on then. Yeah, go on.
And there was this girl knocking about who, she was quite good looking, everybody liked. And my mate, he really liked her. And I didn't sort of ask her out on that, but she just sort of took a shine to me and stuff, right? And didn't really go out with her properly. It's at that age where going out with someone is just like sort of going, all right, in the morning, do you know what I mean? You just sort of nod your head
Yeah.
and that. Anyway, there was some sort of school disco, and they were playing Spin the Bottle or something, right? And I sort of wandered over to see what was going on, and I stood on this girl's dress and put a hole in it, and she started crying. I was like, oh, I can't be doing with this, right? What's up with you? It's old, what's up with you? And everyone's going, Carl, what are you doing? That's meant to be your girlfriend and that. You should be sort of saying, oh, I'm sorry, and giving her a hug and all that, and saying it'll be all right, we'll sort the dress out. I said, I can't be dealing with this. Right? So she's crying her eyes out, so it's over, right?
Oh, it's over, you saying, all right, in the morning. Yeah.
No more of that.
Yeah, there's no more. Right. In the morning.
So I go to the toilet, right? And this lad who fancies her comes in and goes, you're out of order, I'm saying, what are you on about?
Sorry, there's two 7-year-olds. Yeah, you're out of order. Keep out.
Cut it out. Show her a bit of bloody respect.
Sorry, were you wearing trilbies?
Yeah. He put his cigarette out in the sink, and he just said, "Leave it."
Get out of my face.
So I just sort of said, look, why are you getting involved and all that?
Yeah.
Two 7-year-olds. Why are you getting involved?
And it was obviously like because he fancied her and that. We had a bit of a fight in there. I accidentally sort of chipped his tooth on a sink.
Wow, is it like a proper...
Sorry, this is like someone from Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Two 7-year-olds in a toilet.
So you put a hole in her dress. I don't know how that... What were you wearing? Football boots? How did you make a hole in her dress?
I don't know. It was like that sort of material.
You were
like,
wearing winkle pickers.
like crepe. You know what I mean? It was like a crepe dress or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And that got a hole in it.
So you're having and when you say you're having a fight, I mean, are you wrestling with it? You got arm locks
a
and
little bit of
headlocks?
wrestling and shoving about and that. And it was an accident. I didn't sort of go, right, I'm going to break your teeth or anything. It's just that I happened to push his head down and his tooth hit the sink.
Right.
And it chipped and what have you. After that, like, I sort of left there and stuff, and we had to go into assembly. And there was a copper in there doing some presentation saying, listen, kids, don't get into trouble because we're out there and we'll get you. Right? So sort of trying to teach the kids young not to get into any trouble and stuff. So I'm sat in the assembly room thinking, oh, God, there's a copper here talking, and my mate's going to come in a minute, like, with a chipped tooth and everything. And
Questions are going to get asked.
that's what kind of happened. I mean, the coppers didn't get involved.
Yeah.
Did you turn your back on violence after that then?
Yeah. He said you'll never take me alive, copper.
So yeah, that was the sort of last fight.
Brilliant.
Some of the questions coming in now, Rick, are just, I don't know what they're intending, what response they're hoping for, really. This is one from Rob. He just says, I was just wondering, what are Carl's views on the human appendix?
What do you think, Carl? What do you think of the human appendix?
Never worried about it.
Well, no, I think Rob's point is that it's sort of pretty redundant now.
So this is kind of what we've talked about before, where
He always says that. He always says something like, "Oh, we've talked about this before," and the thing that he's talked about is nothing like it.
what I mean is we've obviously interfered somewhere along the way, and
Well,
and
we
shouldn't
have
done.
interfered,
Well,
yeah.
we shouldn't have done because it's the same way. Like if we didn't have planes and that, would we have wings now? If we'd have
No.
needed to get about,
No.
would we have had wings?
No, the answer's no. Next.
No, but you say that, but look at the
Because
way.
he's right, he says it because he's right.
No, but all I'm saying is you see that little picture of like an ape to man.
Yeah.
At first, they're crawling about on all fours because probably you're looking for food, so you want to be down there. So
Right.
if you're on both legs,
Yeah.
you're missing stuff that's on the floor.
What sort of time period do you think this? Because I mean, we started, dabbling with a plane maybe 100 years ago. So what sort of time period do you think this little thing who's scrabbling around looking for food stood up and
I don't
walked?
know. I sort of don't worry about time. Sort
Right.
of
Well, I'll
behind-
tell you now, we
behind
wouldn't have
Rome.
wings now. If the Wright brothers had said, "Oh, forget it," we wouldn't have wings now.